You're listening to Seek Travel Ride, a podcast sharing bike adventures from people from all over the world. And this episode is sponsored by Old Man Mountain, makers of the most durable bike racks out there. If you want to head out on an adventure, you need to strap gear onto your bike, and Old Man Mountain have you covered in a myriad of ways. Head to oldmanmountain.com to find out more. Now, on to today's episode.
It was 10 years ago. I was like maybe 15 years old. And I saw these movies of people going to Tajikistan in the Pamirs, it was. And I was so fascinated. It's like an image that you have in your head, you know. And I knew that I was going there. Like I knew that it was one of my goal by bike. And how did I felt? There was a picture of the Pamirs, a road going straight to the mountains, and I had this image in my head. When I was on this road, it did something to me. I was like, gosh, it's this place. I'm here. I've done it. You're proud of yourself and you appreciate the moment. And because it was just an image, I was living it at 200%, you know.
Welcome to Seek Travel Ride, where we share the stories and experiences of people taking amazing adventures by bike. Whether it's crossing state borders, mountain ranges, countries or continents, we want to share that spirit of adventuring on two wheels with our listeners. Hello listeners, Bella Malloy here, host of the show, and welcome back to another episode of Seek Travel Ride. Now our guest for today is Xiao, a Belgian adventurer who has a big passion for bike travel and the outdoors. Xiao's first experience of bike travel, in fact, was a trip he took with his mother when he was just a young teenager. Now, he can't remember what the genesis behind that idea from his mother was, and I'm actually not sure if he realised in that moment what a transformative holiday adventure that would become for how he would be travelling now. Since that first trip, he has taken many others, mostly with friends during school and university holidays, where he says, when you're young, you have so much time but not necessarily money. Bike travel is the best way to make use of this in Xiao's mind. He's also a keen bike mechanic and even helped set up a university bicycle workshop when he's watched the community grow around that. Then in 2025, he went for it, the absolute big one, a journey from China all the way back to Belgium. He'd start off at his relative's house over in the east of the country and then began travelling westwards. China is a huge country and it alone took months to cross. This podcast could just be about that journey. But Xiao has continued on, and as a pure mountain lover, how could he resist the pull that is Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan? Somewhere he has been inspired to ride on that Silk Road route when he first saw others doing it 10 years ago. Then the adventure levelled up as Xiao chose to travel through Afghanistan, a country which is starting to open itself up to travellers. From there he went through Iran, and I'm fascinated to hear about his experiences and perspectives of these countries after his time there. I cannot wait to learn about Xiao's adventures, hear about his love for the big mountain vistas, his quest for good bread and food. Listeners, I think we are going to be taken on quite a ride, so saddle up. Xiao, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for inviting me in the show.
Xiao, I have a myriad of questions for you, a real long list, and the question I start my show with, and I ask it of all my guests, is, Xiao, do you remember the very first bike you ever rode?
The first bike I rode, I actually have it.
Wow, you still have it?
Yeah. I have all of my bikes. I don't like to sell them. Like I get too attached to my bikes, you know.
Oh, this is awesome. Oh my gosh. You have to do me a favor. You have to take a photo of that bike and send it to me after this session, man.
Okay.
Oh, wow. So tell me all about it.
So it's like a red small bike for children, and with behind the four wheels that you add behind. My mother always tells me that I think it was 4 years old. Like I was on the trolley and I started to walk, I directly jump on the bike. So that's what she always tells to me. Yeah, it's a small bike from very cheap from the supermarkets my father bought or something like that. And but I think that my passion for cycling Actually, cycling is not really my passion. It's more traveling by bike. But I'm not a great cyclist. And this is my first bike, but it's not the one that started everything, you know.
So do you have another bike in mind, or it's not the bike that started everything, it's more your passion for travel that started things?
I prefer to talk about my passion to travel because like cycling, I don't really like cycling. I use my bike every day to commute, you know. For me, that's just a way of transportation. It's not boring, but it's just a way to try to
It's a method, it's a tool.
yeah, and it's cheap and it's good.
The cheap and is good part, I love that part in my research. I mentioned it in the intro, Chow, how you had mentioned part of what you have done since, you know, you're a teenager is during your time off from school or universities, take these adventures on the bike with your friends. And I love that anecdote of when you're younger, you have lots of time, but not necessarily money. And bike travel was a great, cheap way of seeing places without having to haul a heavy backpack and go backpacking and stuff as well, right?
So yeah, when I say that my passion for traveling by bike started when with my first bikepacking trip with my mother. It was like maybe 10 years ago. We were going to the Netherlands, and I don't know why we decided to go for this trip, but my mom printed the Google Maps directions, you know, on the paper. And she was like, "Oh yeah, we have to turn right, left." I was like, "Okay," I just follow her. And it was 10 years before, so bikepacking was not even existing. It existed, but it was like the crazy guy who did that. It was not as popular as now. And yeah, after that, a few years later, when I finished school, I think it's college in English, when I was 17, we just finished school, and with my friend, we were like, okay, let's go for a trip. We don't have money. We have time. We have 11 days. Where should we go? So we just took our bikes and we went in France, and that's it. And that was my first real outdoor adventure, and this was the first time I slept in a tent, that I slept under the stars, and I ate my first camping stove. I ate my first camping food.
Oh, do you remember what you cooked?
I think it was pasta.
Yeah, can't pass the rules. We will definitely talk about food throughout this episode, Xiao, because I have enjoyed watching your videos, which often include what you're eating, which is great. But do you have a go-to camp meal, like your go-to quick, easy food to cook up on the camp stove?
You mean, do I like to cook?
No. I mean, like, what do you default to cooking? Like, what is the first thing that you think? Oh, I need something quick and easy. I'm cooking. What would you cook? What do you find you normally are cooking?
In the outdoors, like.
So in Kyrgyzstan, what's your go-to meal? What are you cooking up on your camp stove?
In Kyrgyzstan, it was always the same. It was rice or pasta, and then with sauce like tomato sauce and so on, with sardines, with tuna, tin fish, and that's it.
Oh, it's like the go-to. It's the go-to. That first trip, well, let's go back to that. Was that the one you took to Cherbourg?
Yeah.
In the north of France?
We took the train in Belgium to go to the most westward part of Belgium. Then it was like near the France borders, and then we went to Dunkirk, Le Havre, Den Haag, and then all the way to Normandy. Endpoint was Cherbourg.
See, I have an affinity with Cherbourg. When my husband and we moved to France, we moved by bike. So we were living in Ireland for 18 months beforehand, and we caught the ferry to Cherbourg, and then we rode to our new home in the Pyrenees from there.
Whoa.
Cherbourg has a special part in my heart because of that.
You moved by bike.
Yeah. I always joke about that. But that was one of the best trips ever, actually, because that was COVID times. And you talked about how COVID, like you had this passion for bike travel, and then all of a sudden COVID just puts a big stop on it, right? And I remember I just felt really hemmed in. We were stuck in Ireland. Our home was going to be in France and we couldn't get there. Okay. A few months became 18 months, and I can still place myself, if I close my eyes, standing on the ferry, all the cars have gone, and I remember rolling off and there's like a sign at the ferry port that says Cherbourg. Wow. And I just remembered, I can get goosebumps now thinking about it. Yeah, no, it was an awesome trip. It wasn't a long one. It was not long like yours. Like, I think it took us 3.5 weeks, It wasn't long, but it was awesome. So your first experience in a tent was that trip to Cherbourg.
We spent like the journey was like between 10 and 40 days, 14 days, so 2 weeks.
Yep.
And I think we slept maybe 10 days, 12 days in the tent. Every night was in the tent, I think. And yeah, it was an amazing tent. It was a tent of one of my friends. So we were four people, and one of our friend went to a world tour with his parents for a year. Like he was homeschooling and so on. And it was wow.
Wow.
Yeah, this guy was amazing. And so we used his tent because it's a four people tent. It was for his two parents and his sister and him. And now he took it and we, yeah, and we went with this tent. It was a huge tent from Decathlon and we slept four people in this tent. I was like, how will I not move like during the night? I will move. I will make a lot of noise and so on. I will wake everyone.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And then one night I remember I moved a lot. I couldn't sleep. I moved a lot and I made a lot of noise. The next day, I asked my friend, like, I'm so sorry. Last night I did a lot of noise. And I said, what? We didn't hear anything. I was like, oh, really? And no, I just know that if I move, I will not make it doesn't wake my friends. So it's like I think the first nights were hard because I was like, no, you don't have to move. You don't have to move, otherwise you wake the others ones. And when I knew that it doesn't make sound, I don't wake my friends, then I don't know. I was more relaxed. Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. I remember taking a camping trip in Australia with good friends of
Mhm.
ours. They were in another tent, but next to our tent. And I remember all four of us the next morning having, morning coffee or something by the camp stove. We were all sort of joking about the symphony of the turning over on the sleeping mat noise.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
we
yeah.
could hear ourselves, we could hear them, and it
Yeah.
was like everyone's like. "Rr, rr, rr." I think the first night of a bike trip in a tent is always the most restless. Personally, like the first time that you restart a journey, that the first night in a tent in a new place, I always find that to be more restless. Have you found? I mean, a tent has been your home for so many of the last few months, right? Like you must just feel totally at ease in the tent, or how have you found setting up in a new place, wild camping? Like, do you have any fears? You're totally at ease. You're in your element. How would you describe it?
I'm totally in my elements. Like, so I'm in Belgium now for 2 weeks, and I don't like my bed. I was thinking to set my tent in the forest, but I was like, well, it's not that worth it. But I can't wait to go back on the road because I think my tent is the best place to sleep when it's not too cold, of course. But I mean, I never really had a private room for myself because I grew up in
Mm-hmm.
a like Asian family, cultural family, and so I never had a room for myself. I slept with my parents, like in separate beds, but it was in the same room. So I don't know. When I was in my tent, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's like your own personal
Yeah,
space.
and maybe that's why I'm so at ease. That's why I like so much to be outside and so on.
Chow, my mind boggles at the places that you have set up your tent on this journey, and sometimes it hasn't been the most amazing places. Like sometimes you're set up under the shelter of, I don't know, a garage, service station, awning or something. Sometimes, you're in the edge of a park or something, but you must have had, conversely, some of the most mega camp spot views as well. If I think of places like Tajikistan or Kyrgyzstan, you
Uh,
must have had some absolutely epic unzip the tent fly moments first thing in the morning, right? And looking out at the mountains.
Yeah, of course, of course. You will see in the next movie about Kyrgyzstan, the first night with my friends, the one who joined me in Kyrgyzstan for a month, like it was at 3,500 meters, something like that, and he was shocked. Like last night he was in Bishkek in the city, and then he was like, "Wow, all these mountains," and I said, "Yeah, we're going to sleep here." Like that was my life for 5 months, and he was like, "Wow, this is so beautiful."
Mm.
Yeah, I always try to have a nice spot, to have some nature around me because I can choose, so why not?
Yeah, exactly. Do you also? I've spoken to some longer term bike travelers. The name that comes to mind first and foremost is Pete Gostelow. I don't know if you follow him, Chow, but he has been traveling for like 2 decades, doing some mega epic adventures. Hi, Pete, if you're listening, you're a legend. Right now, he's doing a journey through Thailand. Something that he does is, like, he has an app on his phone which tells him where the sun is coming, going down, going up, which direction he's oriented to and stuff like that. Now, I think Pete does that for 2 reasons. One, he's an absolutely fantastic photographer, and he does a lot of staff photography as well. So he is looking at the orientation in terms of, the photos he wants to take. Yeah. But 2, it's also being mindful of where the morning sun is going to hit. And so I guess in places like Kyrgyzstan, thinking about, you want sunlight to hit your tent early when you're camping up 3,000, 4,000 meters high, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there was a night where we were in the middle of the Pamir in Tajikistan, and it was at 4,000 meters, and it was going to be very cold, like minus 15 degrees Celsius. The scenery was just amazing, and there was like mountains everywhere. Like I took a picture as well because I went out of my tent to pee, and it was a full moon, so it was like super beautiful. I will show you the picture. I will send you the picture, and it was wonderful. And I remember that we especially we set our tent like this, like you said, like your friend, to have the morning sunlight and so on. But in the end, it was a failure because the mountains are super huge, and when you see the sun, it's like 9-10 a.m. and the sun is too bright, so you'd see anything.
Oh, you're right. It's funny. I always notice that when I'm in at our house in France, because we are in a valley. Now we're lucky because our village in winter, we really noticed it when we did our first winter there, Chow, because the sun comes at a different angle. It's lower in the sky. It doesn't rise for as long, and I think it hits our house. I think it rises at like 8:45 in the morning, but the sunlight first hits our house at 10 in the morning. And we have sunshine, luckily, for I think until 4 p.m. But there is a village that is only 2 kilometers down the valley.
Mm-hmm.
And that village gets sunshine in winter for 30 minutes, and that's
Whoa.
it. And then they're just permanently in the shade. And so I think of that, and it's because of the steepness of the mountains. And like you said, like by the time the sun comes up over the mountains, what time of day is it? So, yeah, of course you'd see that in Kyrgyzstan. We can't skip ahead to Kyrgyzstan. We have to get to your travels. But before we do that, you've talked about how you love mountains, how you love nature, how you love travel. The bike element of it is more the tool, the facility to get you to be able to enjoy these spots. Something else I've really noticed about you as well, Chow, is it's the outdoors that you love, but you love outdoor pursuits. So rock climbing is something that you do and that you have been able to enjoy a little bit on this journey as well?
Yeah, so in the beginning, my goal was also to go climb in the most beautiful spots in China, and that's what I did. I went in 1, 2, 3 or 4 spots in China. Actually, rock climbing is okay in the summer, in spring and fall, but during the winter, it's it's not possible. Nobody goes there anymore.
Listeners, when I head away from home on my own bike adventures, there are a few things I always take with me, and having a VPN has become non-negotiable. Remote work and bike travel are just a fact of life for me now, especially as I split my time between Australia and France. I've been using NordVPN for around 4 years now, and it means that I can get on with all the boring life admin that isn't going away just because I'm on my own bike adventure. I can use public Wi-Fi to do things like banking, logging on from cafes, campgrounds, hotels, train stations and airports. And I always know NordVPN have got my back, giving me peace of mind that my data is protected. I like that Nord's simple and fast to use. It works on all of my devices. To get the best discount off your own NordVPN plan, go to nordvpn.com/STR. Our link's going to give you 4 extra months on their 2-year plan, and there's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. The link's in the podcast episode description box. Support the brands that are supporting this podcast. Now back to the episode. is that physically a thing because rock climbing in the winter is not good, or is it not good because of the snow in the areas?
Because of the snow.
My only rock climbing I've done is through movies like Free Solo, which
Okay.
I feel is like extreme, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, is it the snow in the areas that you need to get to in China that stops it, or is winter rock climbing just not a thing full stop?
Yeah, it's the snow. It's too cold. Like in the winter, I was in Tajikistan and also north of Afghanistan. Afghanistan, there is no climbing, and Tajikistan, it was too cold. Like I did the Pamir in like November, and it was the limits. It was very cold during the night. You don't want to stay here. You just want to hurry up.
To keep
Yeah.
going. Yeah. Actually, shout out to an awesome adventurer, Claire White. I've featured you on so many shows. We always joke she could be a podcast co-host. She's been on that many episodes. But she, the year before you, in 2024, was in Tajikistan doing the premieres, I think around the same time of year. And in our episode, Claire mentioned like the temperatures got to like minus 20 degrees
Yeah.
overnight. So I'm imagining you had some pretty extremes as well, right?
Yeah, I got minus 13 degrees Celsius. Yeah. It was
Oh.
actually it was okay.
How do you keep warm at night when it's like that?
First I put some rocks around the tent to so the wind doesn't go inside and so the air is totally trapped inside.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and also I wear all of my clothes, like literally all. That's a tip that I found out in the Pamirs is to put my hard shell, my Gore-Tex jacket, my rain jacket. I put it around my feet so it doesn't get cold, but
Mm.
around my sleeping bag, outside. And yeah, it's helped a lot.
Yeah, because something we spoke about with Claire also is like when it's that cold outside, inside your tent becomes a little bit warmer relatively because of your breathing, but also there's like condensation icicles at the top of the
Yeah,
inside of your poles and all
yeah.
of that sort of stuff. So it's not like you're in like, it's not like you're super, super warm and cozy by any measure. I bet you, oh gosh, getting out of the sleeping bag first thing in the morning must be hard.
Yeah, it's super hard. Like we're waiting for the sun to come, and it's like 9, 10 because of the mountains and so on. So we're like,
Yeah, oh gosh, freezing cold. That's where you were happy to like to have something warm from your camp stove.
actually, you are equipped. You have a lot of clothes. You have like merino clothes and so on. That's super technical stuff. So you're not that cold. Like when I go out of the shower and there is no heating, I think it's more cold than when I was in the Palm years.
Absolutely. Ah, yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
if
yeah. I
it's
can
a good
imagine that. I
example,
can
but
imagine that. Actually, somewhere where you had pretty gnarly cold there was, I think you were in, was it the Tibetan
yeah,
Plateau in
yeah,
China?
yeah,
You had some pretty dicey
yeah,
cold weather there. There was some snow biking, some snow walking,
yeah,
some snow hiking. That was pretty
yeah.
cold.
But for this one, I was not really ready. It was in the beginning of my trip. It was after 2, 3 months. I didn't had all the layers, like the merino stuff. Then you have a soft shell and the hard shell. I was not very ready for this kind of stuff, and that's why it was very cold. Yeah,
And I remember actually when you were riding on the Duku Highway, I think was that there like your Gore-Tex jacket, like the zipper was broken, so you couldn't even zip it up, right?
yeah. My zipper was broken, and it was raining. It was raining a lot, and it was downhill, and I don't know. It was a bit cold, yeah. And I was all wet because my Gore-Tex jacket, my rain jacket was broken. And also my gloves, I didn't have proper gloves. I bought like Chinese Arc'teryx gloves. It was like windstopper, but it wasn't
They weren't
windstopper.
really.
No.
Yeah. And when they're wet, oh my
Yeah,
gosh, like
it's
you
terrible.
don't have fingers
It's
anymore. I think I
terrible.
remember in one of your videos. I remember in one of your videos, Chow, you were saying like you don't even know how you were braking. Like it was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
It was this
painful to
time. Yeah,
do that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I never had so cold in my hands. Like now I know the importance of having good gloves.
Yeah. What about feet? Like, do your feet feel the cold as well? Like Claire, we were talking about there. She mentioned like when she crossed the Pamirs, she was wearing hiking boots for a lot of her cycling there. What about you? Like, how have your feet been in those cold temperatures too.
Actually, my feet were okay. I have some Gore-Tex stuff like for hiking, so it was okay. I bought some gaiters, like the things that you put around the feet to walk in the snow, so the snow doesn't get into your shoes, and that works pretty well.
Oh, Chow, you know what? You can really tell I'm Australian because here in Australia, when people who go hiking wear gaiters, it's generally to help protect them from snakes and
Snakes,
snake
okay,
bites.
okay.
Snake bite. But hang on. And listeners, I need to put this out here. I don't want to be the person that makes you think that Australia is full of dangerous snakes everywhere. But like, if you're going backcountry hiking in summer and you're hiking through long grass, yeah, you do wear gaiters just in case. Like,
Okay.
we're not getting a lot of people that are Yeah.
But
So my first thought when you mentioned about gaiters was for
snakes.
snakes, and then when you say it's to stop the snow coming in, we go, oh, of course.
Of course.
It's funny,
Yeah,
isn't it?
there is no snake everywhere.
Chow, you are a really apt bike mechanic. Working on bikes is another passion of yours,
Yeah.
right? And I feel that that is such a handy tool to have in your back pocket there to be able to take on your travels. You've also had some pretty interesting mechanicals on this journey as well.
Yeah.
Your cranks did not really want to stay together in China, did they?
No, no, no. Yeah, I had a lot of complications. Like, despite the fact that I have like a monster, a beast for this trip, like I knew that I need a very good bike. I knew what I wanted because I'm a bike mechanic. I'm a nerd, bike nerd, and I choose everything because they are strong, because they are durable, because they're good. And actually, it all failed. Like a lot of things failed.
Oh.
For instance, my crank, as you said, my derailleur hanger, but that's normal. My tires, I had I was running tubeless, but it doesn't work with me. I don't know why. Then what else? In Afghanistan, I broke my fork. Like one of my fork pack broke my fork.
Oh yes, I saw that.
Yeah,
Like where the bolts attached to the
yeah, yeah,
fork,
yeah,
the
yeah,
bag
yeah.
actually sheared the bolt off, didn't it?
That's that's not normal. It's only happened to me.
Actually, I'll try and stop mentioning her, but Claire had that happen to her.
Okay, okay, okay. With a steel bike?
Yeah, on her Surly.
Okay,
Oh god, Surly. I'm trying to remember if she has an ogre or a troll. It's one of those. I think it might be the ogre.
okay.
Yeah, she had the same thing happen, and I think the problem is it's not so much the fork, it's the bag and the way that it attaches on the bolts, and it sort of ripped through.
Yeah, but I often see in the comments, like in the comments, there is someone saying, I never saw someone with so much shit happening in his travel. So I'm very unlucky
Oh,
with
it
that
has
kind
to
of
happen
stuff.
to a mechanic. Oh
Yeah.
no. Well, it has happened to other people. It has happened to other people. What I was going to ask you though, you know how you have had to deal with all of those setbacks. Like being a mechanic, I guess you know what the problem is. You know what you need to try and get working again, even if it's like a bodge or a MacGyver sort of hack,
Uh-huh,
or
uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah,
cable ties, zip,
yeah.
electrical tape that gets you through. Do you feel if you were telling someone, how do I want to phrase this? There are people out there, Chow, who stop themselves from taking an adventure because they don't know how to fix their bike, and they're worried that if they don't know how to fix their bike, they're going to get stuck in the middle of the nowhere and it's going to be a disaster and it's game over. As a bike mechanic, what sort of things would you tell people who are letting that stop them?
Not as a bike mechanic, as a traveler, I would say that's bullshit because that's excuse to say no, no, I will not go on a travel because I don't know how to repair. What if? But just go with the flow. You will always find a solution, and that's the beauty of traveling by bike and traveling as well. But I think the problems are the travel. Like if there is no problems, if everything goes well, it's different. It's too easy. Like it was as if you go on a tour in a country, or I don't know. I like problems, but no, I don't like problems.
Yeah, I guess they create the best stories, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
As well, like they're the things that you always remember. on this show we talk about type 2 fun so much, where in the moment it may not have been great, but with the benefit of hindsight, rose tinted glasses and time, you look back on that as some of the best moments that you went through.
Hmm.
Do you think there's an element of being proud that you got yourself through those moments, and that helps as well?
Of course, of course. I think that's one of the most important skills to have, not only in a bikepacking trip, but also in your life, is to be able to handle problems, to find solutions, to repair stuff, to find solutions. And
Yeah.
I'm not pretty good at that. I will say that I'm lucky with that, but there is always a solution except for death. That's one of my favorite
Yeah,
sayings.
like a motto that you
Yeah,
have or
yeah.
something.
Always a
Yeah, yeah,
solution
yeah.
except for death. Actually, that's true. Like, I'm the proof of it. And as you said, it makes very good memories. Like, for the crank stuff, I knew what was the problem. I spent the whole night tapping with the hammer, tack, 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 tack. And then I showed that to my friends. They were like, "Wow, you're like not a crazy guy, but MacGyver, MacGyver was one of my favorite show on the television, when I was a child. So
Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy because I was chatting with some adventurers, and who was it? I think it was Fergal Gwen. Hi, Fergal. And I nicknamed Fergal MacGyver. And then I just said, Fergal, have you actually ever watched MacGyver? And he hasn't. So then I flooded him with MacGyver memes, and he's like, wow, I am him. I think it was Fergal's drone broke, and so he fixed it up with some, it wasn't even like, I don't even think it was proper, really strong tape, but he was in the Nullarbor in Australia at the Great Ocean Road, and he wanted to get a shot over the ocean at the iconic cliffs.
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, I've fixed my drone. Let's hope it works." I'm like, "That's a great MacGyver job." But, yeah, MacGyver. Like, we're at the age where a lot of people don't know what I say when I say that. So I'm so happy you watched the show.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
I mean, your cranks were problematic. Like, was that just bad luck with that particular crank?
I think so. Like, it's supposed to be a very good crank. It's super expensive and so on. On the internet, I didn't find a solution. Like, there was nobody with that kind of situation. So I think it's kind of unique. Yeah.
But you got through it as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. And
It wasn't something that stopped your journey.
in this bike maintenance shop that we founded in the university, when there was a problem that was like a bit weird, or like we couldn't find a solution, everyone was like, go see with Xiao, like you find a solution. And then I like to think and try stuff, and it doesn't work, then voila. And and my friends see the thing that, like,
Yeah, it's almost like you've got an engineering mindset.
actually I did engineering studies, but
There you go.
yeah, but actually it's during all of my engineering studies, I never touched a tool. Like, yeah, it was in one lab we had a tool. It was
It's
a
theory. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it was how do you call that? A wrench with the thing that you turn to make the size different.
Yeah, like a spanner? A spanner?
I think so, yeah.
Or, yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
In
Yeah.
clear AMOLED.
Yeah.
And my friends were like, "How do you use that?" And they were like, "I don't know. It's stuck. It doesn't work." And I was like, "You're supposed to be an engineer and you don't know how to use tools,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you have just, regardless, you've got a problem-solving mindset. I think that mindset that you were talking, the traveler's mindset of there's always a solution, like you will figure it out.
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest learnings I've had as the host of this show, speaking to so many adventurers, Xiao, is that comes back from them when they have their, especially long-distance adventures. One of the learnings they take away from it is there's always a solution. You will find a way.
Yeah.
We don't need to stress.
Yeah.
That's a real great thing. I think hand in hand with that goes that if stuff goes wrong in the middle of nowhere, like the kindness of strangers often is the solution too. Like like other people help to find a solution, don't they?
Yeah, for instance, for my crank issue, but I was in a village, and fortunately there was how do you call that, a guy who sells like a screw, and he had like a super long screw which has the size of my bottom bracket, and it was perfect. I put one, then put a bolt, and it fitted, and it maintained my crank, so it was perfect for a few kilometers, for like 50 kilometers until the next big city. And in the big city in China, it's very easy to order online stuff and it will come in a few days. And so it was ready. My issue was repaired in like a few days.
Yeah, so you had a fix to get you somewhere where you could get a better
Yeah.
solution, which was there as well. I feel when we talk about China, I feel it's a country that really fascinates me. I have only traveled to China through this podcast, Chow, through the
Okay.
stories of other people that have traveled there and through what they have told me. Yesterday, I traveled to China through your amazing 2 hour long
Yeah.
video that you have on your YouTube channel, which shows your whole experience traveling through there. There was an awesome part of it where you were saying that China east to west, the distance from China east to west is further than the distance from China to
Yeah.
Germany, which really put it in perspective for me of just how huge
Yeah.
that country is. One of the extra things that you have in your back pocket, I think, is like your grasp of the language there and being able to speak Chinese. Did that really come into its own for you and helped facilitate your travel through there?
Yeah, of course. Of course, of course. So it helped in the hostels when there was like young people like same age as than me. We could discuss about the situation in China, the economical situation, how to find work, how they live here, how and so on. But I would say that for a foreigner, it's also a unique experience because everyone wants to talk to you to make you feel good. And for instance, there was a French guy, and he didn't even needed me as a translator because everyone was like trying to help him. Then they went to a restaurant and they went to the bar to drink some drinks. And he had the best night of his life, you know. He had a very nice night. So yeah.
And so you feel like as a foreigner, people go that step above to give you that experience. So maybe you missed out on a little few things as well.
Mm, I miss this part of being a foreigner, but speaking Chinese helped me in other stuff. For instance, in the city, I contacted a climbing gym, and the owner of the climbing gym said, "Oh, that's an amazing trip that you are doing. You can stay in our place where the worker are working, are sleeping. Sorry." So for 2 weeks, I had a free access to a gym. I had a free accommodation with the people working in that gym. So it was like students of my age, passionate about climbing outdoors and so on. So it was kind of a co-location with them. It was super nice. We watched movies, mountaineering movies during the nights, and then we went for a hike, and it was super nice. So definitely, it helped a lot to speak Chinese here, Mandarin.
Listeners, you will know that I really love Old Man Mountain Gear, and their racks and bags have become a huge part of my own bike travel setup. Now, they've recently released a new item in their lineup, which is the Atlas Rack Pack in a 12-litre version. Now, I've been using their 9-litre version, and gosh, I have FOMO for this one. It sits on top of your panty rack, and it's just everything the 9-litre version is, but that little bit better. It's got more capacity, which is useful if you need just that little bit of extra room, but you don't want to have to change your whole setup. They've got side pockets now on the outside for easy access, and something that I really love the look of is this air release valve, which means you can compress it down properly once it's packed. It's a great option if you're running panniers and want a stable, easy access top bag. So if you prefer a rack setup over a big seat pack for longer rides and travel, this one could be for you. Go to oldmanmountain.com to check it out. I've got a link in the episode show notes. Support the brands that support this podcast. Something else that has come up with a lot of travelers traveling through China is, especially in certain regions, is having the police escort you or follow you or not allow you through certain sections. Were you able to navigate through that a little bit easier as well? Like, did you have that as an issue to deal with too?
In China, no, but in Xinjiang, which is the northwest part of China, it was the last part of China. It's the region where the Uyghurs are, where there is a lot of problems and so on. So foreigners are allowed to go there without a guide, not like in Tibet, because if you want to go to Tibet, you need a guide. But in Xinjiang, you don't need a guide. But there are a lot of rules, like it's very weird. You see a lot of police presence, So there is a lot of checkpoints, and in the checkpoints, when they see a foreigner, they ask for your passport, and there is a lot of checkpoints. So I met some overlander who tell me that yeah, sometimes they have to show their passport like 8, 10 times a day. They don't want to harm you or anything. It's just that they have rules, they have laws. Their superior told them, yeah, if you see a foreigner, you have to ask. So they all asked for that. So yeah, for a foreigner, if you go to Xinjiang, you will not have the best time in China there because it's very controlled and so on. But me, I have a Chinese face, and I just said hello, and they say hello, take care, and then goodbye, and then voila, that's it.
Yeah, so they don't pick up that you're
Yeah,
Belgian,
yeah,
and so you just make your way through.
yeah,
Oh, well, awesome.
yeah. No, that was really, really nice. Like one day, I was with an Italian guy in a restaurant in a small village, and out of nowhere there was like a police officer with his colleague with all the armor and the shield and so on, and they were like, yeah, can you tell him to show me his passport, as if I was a guide or a translator, as if I was Chinese. And then I told him, yeah, you have to show him the passport, and then they take pictures and then left. And I was like, and me? Do you want to see my passport? But no, like yeah.
I guess the other thing that's handy there as well, although there was a point, and it might have been there, where like the road signs are even in 4 languages. Like I think there was Arabic, there was
Yeah,
Chinese, there was English, and there was another language as well, wasn't there? Oh, what am I missing?
Tibetan.
There we go. So was that in Xinjiang province as well?
It was in the middle of these three regions. It was in the province of Qinghai, Xinjiang, and a bit of Tibet. So it's like a mix of everything. It was very interesting.
Yeah, it would have been. And did you find? Oh, how do I phrase this? Well, firstly, had you been to China and travelled in China much before this journey to China?
I've been to China like maybe every 3, 4 years, but then COVID happened and we didn't went back again. But it was just staying in the city with the family in the city of Guangzhou, which is in the south, not in the east. It's in the south of China. And we did not really go outside. Like my father was here to see his parents again, so my grandparents. And it was 1 month, and we didn't do a lot of stuff. So this trip was also an occasion for me to rediscover my culture, my origins, my roots.
Mm.
And so yeah, it was kind of a first time for me. Like the first few weeks were normal because it was the same region and so on. When I stepped to Yunnan, to the third province, it was beginning to be different.
Because that was my next question. When I watched your video, something that really hit me very starkly was just how the differences in each region
Uh-huh.
come across. And also the differences, like, I remember actually when you were on the Duku Highway and, there were tourists everywhere, the amazing, amazing mountains, right? And then all of a sudden you're on a plateau. And then all of a sudden you're in the rain. And then all of a sudden you're in the mountains. And then all of a sudden you might be in a big city. Like there seems to be such quick, well, and I
Yeah.
don't know whether it's necessarily quick, that might not be the right word, but there are just so many differences and different things to experience there as well.
Of course, of course. China has the size of Europe, and actually every provinces is like a country itself. Like when you go in a new province, they speak another dialect. Like the old people cannot speak Mandarin, so I cannot communicate with the old people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they all speak a different dialect, and so sometimes like, okay. And especially in Xinjiang, some adults couldn't even speak Mandarin. I could only speak with the young children, which whom I played football and so on. But in Tibet also, when I was hosted by a family, I couldn't speak with like the parents and also the three oldest brothers. It was only with the youngest one and the second youngest one that I could speak Mandarin. And so yeah, it's like a different country on each in each province. The food also is different. Like I was amazed to see so much different stuff from China. Like,
Oh, I am so excited by this. Sorry.
I don't know, it's totally okay.
I'm a travel lover, I'm a mountain lover, and I'm a food lover, Xiao. So I really was excited to speak about food with you.
We have the same passions, you know.
Oh, this is great. Actually, something that I really loved in your video was like your quest for bread in China.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
always popped up as well.
yeah.
I don't actually know if I ever saw you really happy with the bread that you ended up with. Like you'd find a bakery and you were like, oh, do they have bread? And you'd buy bread and then be like, no, this isn't good bread. What is it about the bread that's not right? I want to understand this part.
Well, you know, I'm Belgian, and it's not like in France, but it's almost, you know.
It's similar.
I have to say that, yeah, in France it's one of the best breads. Like it's wow, you know, it's the tradition and so on. In Belgium as well, but not very much. But in Asia, I couldn't find a good bread like in Europe because I was backpacking a few months before my trip. So it's been like 5 months that I didn't have the bread, and I don't know. I saw breads, but then I ate them, and it was not bread. So my mind was like, my brain was like, what is happening?
What is this?
Yeah.
What is this? Yeah, because I wonder, like in Australia, I don't want to sound entitled by any measure. I feel very fortunate that I am able to live for a certain part of every year in France. And my gosh, the bread is like
It's
almost
amazing.
number one on the
It's
list of the best
amazing.
things there, right? It is amazing. And it's like 4 ingredients, you know. It's bread, water, salt, and rising, you know,
Yeah,
yeast or
yeah,
sourdough
yeah.
starter. That's it. And I wonder, like, when I come to Australia, we have some pretty good bakeries here and they do some amazing sourdough. In fact, my husband bakes sourdough. It is amazing. Very, very fortunate. But yeah, sometimes you buy bread and it's just, I don't know, it's like soft, it's sweet, it's full of, it's not that same feel, is it?
Yeah, totally. And for the anecdotes, I had to wait until Afghanistan to have good bread.
Well, it's interesting you mention that because I have been told well, I mean, not that a lot of people have travelled there, but I've, again, spoken to a few people more often than in the last 6 months who have travelled to Afghanistan, and every single person has told me the best bread that they ate was in Afghanistan.
Yeah, like actually the food in Afghanistan was amazing. Like in China, it was more than amazing. Then Kyrgyzstan, it was terrible. Then in Tajikistan,
Yep, I've not heard anyone rave about the food there. And in Tajikistan, Central Asia, full stop.
Tajikistan was bad as well. And then the first meal I remember we had to wait for a visa in a hotel, and the guy we were not allowed to go outside, so the owner of the hotel said, yeah, we will take something for you. And I ate. It was like made of peanuts and tomato sauce and bread, and I was like, whoa. It was so good.
It was just like some flavour there. Actually, we have to talk about this. The pressure cooker. Pressure cookers are used a lot to cook there. And you guys, I don't know, does it actually weigh 15 kilos? Like you bought one to lug around with you and you made a meal with the pressure cooker?
So it doesn't weigh 15 kilos. Like it was a joke. It maybe weighs like 1 kilo max. But I don't. It was the idea of my friend, and then he bought it, and we cooked one meal, and I was totally convinced. Like it was so delicious. Like really, it was really, really
Yeah, it
delicious.
looked amazing.
Yeah, it was
like the
amazing.
best flavoursome vegetable stew. I don't know if there was meat in it as well. It looked awesome.
It was awesome. Like especially in Afghanistan, they have it's a very how do you say that? It's good for. They have fresh vegetables and so on. They have a lot of
A
fields
lot of
and
good
yeah,
produce.
they have very
Okay, yeah.
good products. And we were cooking that. It cost like $1 to have a bowl of made full of veggies, and it was amazing. And you know you just cut the veggies, you put some oil, you put some salt, and then you wait. You do wait 30 minutes. You set your tent. You discuss with your friend, and then it's okay. And it's mwah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's a bit of a level up from the basic pasta and
Yeah,
tins of tuna
yeah,
that you were
yeah,
eating outside
really,
of your tent in the mountain
really,
scene. Wow.
yeah.
I want to talk about Afghanistan there. It is a country that I have had the benefit of talking to some bike travellers about lately because I think obviously it has recently opened up to people to travel there.
Mhm.
And it's still a very intriguing country. Was Afghanistan always on the itinerary for you? when you realized that it was a possibility to travel there, was it somewhere that you had yearned to travel to? Like, how did it come into your itinerary?
So I don't have plans. Like I don't work with plans when I'm traveling. But of course, when I plan such a project to go from China to Belgium, I look into the countries that I would maybe cross. And I saw Afghanistan. I was like, I have to go there. And yeah, I also like to go to countries that are not very touristic, that people don't really go there. And Afghanistan was like you can go there, so why not? Yeah.
How long did you spend there?
Less than a month. It was 25 days, I think.
Yeah, and you were there with your friend there as well.
Yep. Yep.
How do you feel you would have gone if you were there on your own? Like, obviously, you had a friend there to experience it with.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have been more intense as a solo?
Yeah, definitely. Like solo, I would have crushed my head, I think, several times because like Afghanistan is it drains your social battery because these people they never saw a tourist. Like some people it's the first time for them to see a tourist and so they see you, they touch you. Sometimes they touch you, they're like they take pictures and asking you for the WhatsApp numbers and so on. And it's very demanding. And sometimes with my friend, we were switching of like one was resting and the other one was talking with the guys, and
Mm.
and also with the Talibans, the Talibans are they are more curious than the normal people. And when I was detained with my friend, my head was going to explode, and fortunately my friend was here to calm me down. And
Yeah, so I want to talk about that. Like, well, actually, I have never been there, obviously. I have travelled there through guest stories like yourself, Xiao. I obviously, I'm a child of the 80s, so Afghanistan has been in the news for me
uh-huh.
my whole time due to war, okay? Let's be frank. So even things like, when the Taliban's come, like, is there... Like, as someone who's never travelled there, like, is it obvious when someone is a Taliban? Are they wearing military stuff? Is it military? Is it political stuff? Like, how do you even know when you're in the presence of a Taliban, or do they make it known to you that they are Taliban?
Talibans, you recognize them quite easily. Like if they have guns,
Mm-hmm.
it's a Taliban. If he has a long black beard, he's a Taliban. Like if he's all wearing black, he's a Taliban. And also, the Talibans are Pashtun. I don't know if you know about the ethnicities in Afghanistan.
No, I don't.
So in Afghanistan, there are a lot of. It's a multi-ethnic country. They have in the north part the Tajik, the Afghan Tajik.
Mm-hmm.
The south part, it's not really north-south, but in the south, in Kandahar, there is a lot of Pashtun, which are the Talibans. The Talibans are mainly coming from the Pashtuns. And there is also the Hazaras, which is like Chinese-looking people, and so on and so on. There are also the Uzbekis, the Uzbek, the Afghan Uzbek, and so on. But in the end, what I want to say is that the Talibans are the Pashtun ethnic people, and you can a bit recognize them because they don't look the same. I don't know how to explain, but
So there is a distinct look about it as well.
yeah,
Did you know all this? Did you research this before you went
of
in there, or
course.
did you learn this very quickly?
All the time when I go in a country, I'm reading the Wikipedia page first, and I do some research about the history, about the political situation, and so on. I really like to confront what I read to what I experience. For me, it's very important to not go and be like, oh, no, no, like it's interesting to have a background, to have an overview of the situation here. Because, for instance, if I was just traveling with the Talibans, like some people on the internet, they only have the point of view of the Talibans and of the Pashtuns, and it's not what I want. Like I want to see also the other minorities. So I went in the slums full of Hazaras, and also I watched in the north there was a lot of Tajik, and so I was like, oh yeah, that's true. Like I could confront the map on Wikipedia about the ethnicities and so on.
Yeah, so it's not that you're going, I don't want to use the word ignorant, but there are some people who don't want to know or go into a country with a perception But you're more going into a country with some, I would put it, background knowledge,
Yeah,
and then you see what you see with your own
yeah.
eyes. Did you reach out to other people who had been there beforehand as well to understand it a bit as well?
I did not do it. I did not do it for the countries that I did. But okay, I did it for places. Like if it's a place where I know that it's a bit tricky, like it's dangerous or what, or it's there is no people, a lot of people. I'm asking, yeah, how much liters of water did you brought? How much food? How was the temperatures? Like for instance, for the Pamirs, it was on a WhatsApp group. I asked, yeah, in this season, what kind of temperatures can I expect? How do you deal with that, and so on. And it's through this WhatsApp group that I met my friend. He sent me a private message. He said, yeah, you're going to the Pamirs right now. I said, yeah, in a few weeks. And he said, okay, I'm also doing it. Do you want to do it together? I said, of course.
So you were able to join up. Yeah, great.
And about the being ignorant and so on, I don't watch the news. Like, I don't like to have I don't read the news because you're always biased, in the news. It's like, yeah, they are bad, they are good, or they are good, or they are bad. And I just read about the history, what happened and so on. And I do my
Mm.
own opinion about it.
What did you say? I think you said you spent 25 days in Afghanistan. If you could magically have Xiao on day 1 and Xiao on day 25, what do you think the different perspective you would come out from having 25 days there be? Like what's your big takeaway from being in there?
About Afghanistan in general, or
Yeah.
actually, Afghanistan was I would say, the highlight of my trip in terms of human adventure. Like, I
Mm.
wasn't expecting anything about Afghanistan. Like, you heard the news in the 80s about the war, but me, it was more the movies about it, the Hollywood movies with the terrorists and the Americans, GI, who's going to war.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see so kind people, so simple people, and there is a certain beauty in it. And yeah, like, Afghanistan is a country that has been locked for 10, 20, 40 years, and these people don't
Mm.
know a lot about the outside world, and so they're only living in communities with their families and so on. And I don't know, that there is a beauty in that, like, to just live with the moment with what they have, and in poverty, because they're very poor, but it's not poor like they're eating enough, they have sufficient stuff, but sometimes it's a bit tricky, they said. But despite that, they are not happy, but always smiling, happy to see us tourists, to welcome us. They are happy to welcome us, and I wasn't expecting that. And yeah, it was amazing, but also very draining. My social battery was like,
Very challenging.
but yeah, it's really
A lot of people want to have time with
yeah,
you
yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. And I was like, sorry. Everyone says salam alaikum, salam alaikum. And I'm like, yeah, salam alaikum. They say, stop, stop, stop. I said, sorry, sorry, I have to go. Yeah.
You know, when we were talking at the very start, how it was amazing for you when you were in your tent because you had your own personal
Uh-huh,
space.
uh-huh.
It was sort of a country where you probably felt you had no personal space.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. There was a comment that I read. Obviously, when people travel there, we're not incognizant, we're not ignorant to what's going on there. There's obviously the Taliban rule there. There are a lot of restrictions on women in the country, and I imagine all your interactions, no doubt, were most likely with men.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what your experience even seeing women in the country and stuff like that was about. And so often people's questions are, especially when people choose to travel there, choosing to travel to a country that has these restrictions, what's it like? Something that you commented on was you feel that the more people that travel there, the more likely it is that maybe those sort of things will change, and the younger generation is seeking that out.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But yeah, yeah. For me, I don't like the term tourist, because tourist for me is just like someone on vacation. I know it can be a bit oh no, I'm not a tourist. No, but it's a bit real, like I sleep in a tent, I don't wash myself for like a week and so on. And yeah, as I said, Afghanistan is a country that is locked down for so many years. And yeah, their Talibans are doing some. Their ideology is a bit no judgment, but they have very weird rules and so on, especially about women. And it's because they don't know what's happening outside that they will just accept it because they don't know all the stuff, Like if they see a girl traveling by bike alone, they will be like, "What the fuck? It's possible!" Like, whoa, So that's why I respect a lot the girls traveling alone in this country.
Did you see many? Are there many other female travelers? Because I know of one, Katya. Hi, Katya. She travelled there with her partner Martin. They're from Denmark,
Mhm.
but I haven't come across any. Yeah, I'm sure there must be, but I haven't come across any other women that have travelled there. It's always been something for me. Obviously, I'm a woman. I'm a female host. It's always been something I've been perplexed about with that country. But do you see many other travelers, female travelers in Afghanistan? Did you see any?
So I only met one couple of overlander by motorbike, a husband and a wife. There was also a Iranian couple also traveling with a bike. And also I on a WhatsApp group, I saw a girl talking about her travel alone. Sorry, she was traveling in Afghanistan alone and she was asking for questions and so on. And was like, what the fuck? It's she's so brave, to go there, and I wanted to contact her, but it was too late. But so the point, what I want to say is that seeing tourists, when I see tourists, they will say, "Oh, okay, so there is maybe something else than my situation,"
Mm.
Like if you are a small girl and you do what you are told every day, and then 1 year pass, 2 year pass, and then you are a teenager, and the only thing that you know is your friends, your mom. The only thing that you know is that you will become your mom, But what I think is that when they see a crazy guy on a bike waving at them and smiling like hello, they will just say like, what? There are people like that somewhere else,
Yeah, so you're bringing a part of the outside which they're closed off from inside to them.
They didn't close it. It's just not open for them because of the political situation and so on.
Yeah. They're not the ones that are instigating it, but I understand what you mean, that they're in that situation. That's an interesting point. And I mean, I don't want to make it too simplistic, but, there's an element where I've lost count of the amount of people that I have interviewed, Chow,
Hmm.
who have told me that the whole reason they took their travel was because when they were backpacking or on holiday somewhere, they saw someone actually traveling on a bike. And it wasn't only until they saw that person doing that they thought, wow, I didn't know you could do that. So if I draw, similarities with that type of thing, you're sort of saying showing that aspect to people who don't know what's possible, it brings them that idea too. That's sort of the point you're making in a way. You're bringing an awareness to people
Yeah,
who don't have those same
yeah,
things.
that's what I think. And also through what hurt me a bit in this comment, especially, is that they think that I just make videos to gain followers, or I don't know. Of course, it's a bit the case, but I also want to show the reality of the situation in this country to the world. Like, I was surprised that it's not as the media said it was, and I want to show it to people, So that's one of the main goal my main goal of traveling the world is to show that the media is fake and that it's always biased by something. And here I'm just like an eye traveling in a country, and you see the world with me,
Yeah. Has it also prompted questions like from friends and family? Like, how have friends and family embraced your travel to places like this?
My father especially, my father is a pure Chinese. He migrates from China to Belgium, and my mom, she's born also in Belgium. It's my grandparents from my mother who went
Yeah,
to,
from your mother's
yeah,
side,
voila.
who are from China.
So
Okay, yep.
my father is like a Chinese guy. He's super worried. He's like, what the fuck, Afghanistan is war, like it's dangerous. Outside of China, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. Like when I started my trip in China, they were like, okay, stay in the roads because there are crazy people in China, but China is safe, but it's you have to pay attention. And then when I went to outside of China, when I passed the border, They were like, "Oh, outside of China, it's not safe, huh? You have to pay attention." And then I said, told them, "Yeah, I'll go to Afghanistan." They were like, "What? It's the war there. Don't go there." I was like, "Chill down." And my mom, she has more of this. I think it's like the not European but Westerner thought of go travel, go see the world and so on.
Learn, experience.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So she encouraged me to go there, and but the most important is that she trusts me. Like she knows that I'm not going to do like crazy, stupid, dangerous stuff. And yeah, I'm not dumb, you know.
Were there situations where you thought, "Oh, this is a bit crazy"? Like, we touched on the idea, like, where you were detained by the Taliban, and I remember with reading you through your post about it, Chow. It's like, we were actually looked after really, really well. We were fed,
Yeah,
but that's one side of it. But how did it feel? Like, were there elements in that whole process? Like, did you feel a bit more fearful, or?
not at all. Like actually, when I came inside this country, I knew that nothing will happen to me because, as you said, Afghanistan is opening again, and they want tourism. They want to attract tourists from the outside. And like, if they will not kill me. Like, if they kill me, it's a disaster for them. You know, the Taliban's there, so they have the control of the country. It's the new government. You like them or you don't like them. It's like that. They're the new government, and they are trying to build a country. You know, from nothing. You cannot afford to kill a tourist because it will just destroy all your diplomatic relations and so on, and it's terrible, you know. And actually, that's totally what I felt. It's like they were really treating us very well. They were happy to see us in the end. They were happy to see us, and so I never stressed. And actually, I said that I was detained. I don't like the word detained, but it's more for the content and on the social medias. You know, if you don't use that, it will not work. But it, well, I was in prison, but they didn't want me. They didn't want to put me there, but they don't have a choice. So I was there, and sorry, what?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's almost like they hosted you, but in a different sort of way.
I didn't commit a crime, you know. So
No.
I just wanted. It began with the fact that I wanted to sleep in a house of someone, and it appeared
Mm-hmm.
that the someone was a very kind person, but he's a Tajik, Afghan Tajik, and he could speak English very well. And so the Afghan Tajik were one of the main enemies of the Taliban's before because they were cooperating with the Americans. So that's why he spoke English very well. And so when the Taliban's heard that a tourist was with these guys, they were like stressing for us because they were like, oh no, our enemies are hosting tourists. They kept asking us if they did harm to us, if they stole some stuff from us, and so on, because they kept saying that they are bad people, they are bad people. But I was like, no, he hosted me, he fed me, he proposed to wash my clothes and so on. So in the end, what I want to say is that it was for this night, so we wanted to sleep with this Afghan Tajik, but then the Taliban knew and they said, no, no, you will not stay here, you will come to our police station. And then I was like, shit, what will we do? Go sleep in our room, and we slept in the office of the officer, and I was not really detained, you know.
You weren't in a prison cell, sort of
Yeah, voilà, voilà.
handcuffed or anything like that. Oh,
But I wasn't able to. I wasn't free. Like I couldn't leave the place. I had to wait that the guy made his report and that he contacted the guys from the ministry in Kabul and then come back with a paper and then say that I can go. Yeah, so I had to wait a whole day in the police HQ headquarters. But voila. But I was not stressing for my life, you know. I was just frustrated that I couldn't go, but I knew that nothing will happen to me.
it's an interesting situation to be in, regardless, right?
Yeah, it's good stories to tell, you know.
It's sort of like, how you said you don't like the boring. And it's something that I really took away from watching some of your videos and reading your posts is you're not there to travel to a country to be on an easy road, that even an easy road that goes to beautiful places. You do want to go to the places that are maybe not on the tour, they're definitely not on the tourist map. You want to see the natural part of the world. You want to earn the views as well. Like, if I take you back to China, I think there's a section, it's remiss of me to not even know which mountain it is, but you decide one day you're in the city and you need to get out of the hostel and you're going to climb up to a 4,000 odd meter peak.
5,000.
5,000. Yes, sorry. That 1,000 meters makes a big difference. Oh, gosh, I could imagine. But they're the sort of things that you're looking to experience, aren't they? As opposed to seeing the 5,000 meter peak from the tourist beautiful viewings location. You're looking to actually experience a raw sort of moment out there.
It's more that I don't like to be guided. I don't like people to tell me, yeah, you have to go there, you have to. No, I want to create my own adventure. What I hate is like touristic, how do you say that? Like you follow someone with a flag and like when I was a child with my mom, I went to a few countries and we did that, and I was like, maybe I was traumatized from that, but it was with old people had to follow the guide and then go to the car, and then the car goes to another place, and then we go down, you watch, and then that's so boring.
Yeah, it even goes back to what you were saying earlier, Chow, about how you don't plan. Like the
Yeah,
route unfolds
yeah,
for you. You don't pre-plan
yeah.
certain things either.
That's something that I learned in my, I think it was third bikepacking trip with my friends back in the university time. The first trips, so the one in Cherbourg and then the one in, I think it was Netherlands, I was the one doing the maps on Google Maps, and yeah, tonight we go there, 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 there. And then the third one, I was like, okay, guys, who will do it? I don't want to do it this time. And nobody really wanted to do it, so we just went with the flow. And I realized that actually the best plan is no plan. And since then, I never planned anything for my trips, and it was always a banger. Like every trip was better and better because of this unexpected situations, and
Yeah.
just go with the flow. It's so much more rewarding.
The other thing, when you said you like to have different types of experiences, if I was to take you back to China, I think there was a section where you went to cross through the Taklamakan Desert,
Uh-huh.
but you wanted to do something extreme. So it was 600 kilometers. You wanted to try and cross it in 48
Uh-huh.
hours.
Uh-huh.
I mean, gosh, extreme much, like super hot weather as well, right? Like it was ridiculous, temperatures, obviously. But something that I noticed from that was you were disappointed because it wasn't as extreme as you thought it was going to be. Like he said, this is too easy. Like every 100 kilometers is somewhere where there's a restaurant. I can actually get food and all of this sort of stuff. So you had this expectation that I'm going to go across this desert. It's going to be really hard. And it was probably still physically hard, but it just wasn't taking you to that, pushing you to that extreme element that you were thinking it would take you.
Yeah, so for this part, I was I like do you know like ultra cycling?
Yeah, I've done an
Yeah,
ultra,
you've done
only
it.
one, but yeah,
Oh,
I do.
that's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, around Normandy, if you want to go back there for good times, there's one for you there. But yeah, I have done one.
Okay, okay.
It wasn't a big extreme one. It was only like 900 kilometers, but my gosh, it was the hardest thing I've ever done.
But I'm a big fan of it, and fortunately, I did one ultra race back in the time when I was in uni, and I really liked it, and I wanted to redo this experience in through this Taklamakan desert. So I knew that there was a route across the whole desert. I knew that, but everyone told me, enfin, it was a guy, he told me, yeah, there is no checkpoints in this route. It's like a straight route to 600 kilometers without anything. So I'm not dumb. I prepared everything. I bought a lot of food. I packed like, I think it was 18 liters of water on my bike. And I was ready for this. And then I ride, and 200 kilometers later, I see a restaurant, a shop with. I was like, what?
I'm loaded up like a pack mule and I don't need to
Yeah,
be.
yeah. So it was okay. It was more comfortable than what I thought. And after that, 200 kilometers later, there was again a shop, and I was like, "What?" There was like watermelon, and I ate the watermelon in the middle of the desert.
Oh, I think that was one of your highlights, actually, wasn't it? That watermelon is the best
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
You
yeah,
didn't think that you would be able to get something like that.
yeah,
I think there's a scene where you like watermelon and yogurt. It's 100% natural.
yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah,
100%.
yeah,
This is amazing.
yeah,
No sugar,
yeah,
just
yeah,
nature.
yeah. It's like a watermelon when there is a sun, like a scorching sun on your skin, and then you have watermelon. Wow, it's so good.
Yeah, actually, something I saw, I think it was when you were on the Dooku Highway, actually, it was like you put watermelon in your bike bidon, in your
Yeah,
water
and then
bottle.
I shaked it.
Oh, I need to try that out. I thought that was great.
No, it was amazing.
Homemade smoothie.
Actually, in this place, the watermelon cost like 50 cents a kilo, so it was super cheap, and we had like we still have like half of a watermelon. I was like, no, I'm not throwing it. So I just put it in my bidon, and I shaked it, and it was delicious actually.
Yeah, it would be. It's just naturally uplifting. Somewhere, you know how you said you like to go somewhere without expectations? There was a place that you travelled where you had dreamed about, and that was on the Silk Road. You'd seen a video, I think, of people riding there 10 years earlier, and you'd always thought, gosh, I'd like to be there and do that. Was there an element of like you had a pinch me moment when you were doing the thing that you had dreamt of? Did it meet or exceed your expectations and your perceptions when you were there yourself? Or did you have any? I don't know that you could be disappointed in those mountains, but do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
you've told me how you like not to know too much about something before you're there, but here's somewhere where you've dreamed of going for a decade. What was it like to actually be there?
Yeah, so I don't like to watch vlogs, to watch movies, bikepacking movies and so on. I really don't, not that I don't like, but I don't do it because it spoils, everything. And it was 10 years ago. I was like maybe 15 years old, and I saw these movies of people going to Tajikistan in the Pamirs, it was, and I was so fascinated. It's like an image that you have in your head. And it stayed for 10 years, for I don't know, 8 because it was before. And I knew that I was going there. Like I knew that it was one of my goal by bike. And yeah, it's maybe the spark of this trip. It's the spark that ignited the flame for this trip.
Yeah.
And how did I felt? Uh, there is a picture of the Pamirs highway, a road going straight to the mountains, and I had this image in my head. And when I was on this road, it did something to me. I was like, "Gosh, it's this place. I'm here. I've done it." And I don't know, you feel like you've done something incredible. Like you're proud of yourself. I think it was that I was very proud of myself of being here, and you appreciate the moment. And because it was just an image, I was living it at 200%.
Yeah, you were really there. I've had moments like that where I've dreamt of being somewhere and then I've had the privilege of being there and like I get goosebumps or there's some sort of different emotion. Is that what you were sort of feeling?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Wow.
And I think it's because it's so old. Like the image that I had was so old that I was like, fuck, it's like 10 years later, I'm finally here. It's an achievement.
Yeah. It's like you've reached the goal sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was so happy to be here. And I was happy, like, I thought about all the sacrifices, all the stuff, all the work that I made to earn money, to buy my bike, and all the time it took to not to plan but to organize this trip, and to end up here, to end up in my image that I had in my head, it was like I was like, wow, like you've done it, like you've done it.
Yeah, you've made it happen. You've done the thing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's and it wasn't an easy thing to do. Like you said, there's so much that goes into this. One of the biggest questions I often get from listeners, Chow, who tune into the show is a lot of people don't understand how people have the time to do what you're doing. And how do you afford to be on the road? How do you afford to travel for so long? How do you afford to even go there? But, that's what you're saying. You've made sacrifices to do this. You've chosen a different path in a way to do this. Like, you have sacrificed doing other things to prioritize doing what is giving you energy, which is this type of travel.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I think that's a reflection that I recently had with someone, is that happiness is a choice. Like, what I want to say is that if I was still in Belgium, if I found a job, a normal job, like all of my friends from university, now they are working. Of course, they have money, they can buy what they want, they still have some vacations and so on, and they are happy, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And if I was in their place, I will be happy as well. But I will always keep in mind that, oh, I should go to the Palmies. Oh, I should go for a long bikepacking trip. So, like you said, it requires sacrifices, it requires stuff. It's not easy. It's a different path. It's a different way. And it's not easy to go there, but if you do it, you will end up here. And it's difficult, but because it's difficult, it makes the thing even more enjoyable.
And it's through the difficulties that you're getting energy from it as well. I mean, if
Yeah,
I think of the other things that you enjoy, like rock climbing, I mean, that is extremely difficult, but it's something that gives you energy.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, taking the more rugged off-road mountainous route, it's very difficult, but it's something that's giving you energy.
yeah,
And it's a choice to do that.
yeah.
My gosh, Chow, I was just thinking about what you said. I could never imagine you ever, ever, ever being behind someone holding an umbrella in a tour guide group. But do you know what would be really funny and interesting to imagine? If you were the person holding the umbrella, and what sort of tour you would be guiding people on. What sort of quests would Chow be taking people on, right?
You mean me being a guide?
Yeah, like imagine, I mean, in a way, those very first trips you took at university where you were the one with the Google Maps and everything, you were the guide in a way. Like, yeah, imagine what those would be now. If Chow was designing someone's trip through China, I wonder what sort of extreme journeys they would go on. Is the 5,000-meter trudge through snow and vegetation something that they're going to be signing up for? Would you make them haul 18 litres of water through the desert even though they could resupply every 100 kilometres?
I would not recommend you to go with me in a trip, because I am myself, I'm ready for that kind of stuff, but I am not an expert in that. Like, if something bad happens, I will maybe not be able to
Help
help you.
others.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, but you are ready to take the challenge on for yourself.
yeah, for myself it's okay. I will always find a solution, but for you,
Yeah, yeah. Stay at home.
if you are a guide, it means that you are someone that you are an expert in what you are doing, that you spend a lot of years in what you are doing. And I think that I'm getting bored of stuff when I'm too deep inside. Like for instance, bike mechanic. I did it when I was in university as a side job. And after 5 years, I was like, it's getting boring. It's always the same, and it's if you want to learn more stuff, more technical stuff, it's like nerdy stuff that no one uses. What I like is like the bike that everyone use, and also to make some insane reparation, like people that are like, what the fuck, how did you repair it? But like, for instance, all the electronic shifting stuff, I don't like it. I don't want to be an expert in that. And so what I want to say is that if you're a guide, for instance, for mountaineering, it means that you spend a lot of time in the mountains, that you're specialized in this. I think that life is too short to be specialized in something. Of course, if it's really what you like, do it and be an expert in it. But me, I like to discover the maximum stuff that I can do. I like to not be an expert in everything, but I like to know, to experience everything. Fun, not everything because it's impossible, but I want to experience the more stuff that I can do.
Yeah, and you want to push yourself to learn new things and to have to problem solve and
Yeah,
experience different things as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I see that with you. Listeners, I was chatting with Chow offline before we press record, and one of the previous guests that kept coming to mind when I was researching Xiao was Giacomo Turco, and he is very, very similar with you, Xiao, in that he wants to have these raw experiences. Hi, Giacomo. I know you tune into the show. You're in West Africa at the moment doing an amazing, amazing job there with the water cycle as well. He is a crazy guy, but Giacomo gets energized by seeing what his limits are. The other person I think of, Xiao, is another previous guest, Mark Gresser. So Mark, his first adventure, which I featured very early on in the podcast, he rode from his home, from his driveway in Perth all the way to Paris. So it was like, I think it was almost 3-year journey. And then he was home for 10 years. And now Mark is in the middle of Australia walking, pulling a heavy cart behind him through the centre of Australia, like the desert.
Wow.
We're talking pulling a cart through sand. And
In the outback.
yeah, in the outback, like proper.
That's one of my goals.
And when you experienced the hottest place in China, which was 47 degrees, they're the temperatures Mark's experiencing day after day with no trees around, no shade. And for Mark, the whole reason to take that journey on when I spoke with him was very much like you. He doesn't want to go on the internet and pull out the route itinerary for a through hike where he knows every single thing that's coming up. He wants to go into the unknown. He wants to push himself as far as possible, see what he can do, surprise himself with what he can do, and that as well. Yeah, they're the two people that I think of now when I speak with you in that mindset.
But I just want to say that it's a bit dangerous, like if you do stuff, if you're not prepared, it can be dangerous. But if you prepare, if you have knowledge and so on, it's totally okay. And especially the wheel,
Yeah.
like if you just say, yeah, I want to go there, but you didn't train for that, you didn't prepare, you're gonna die.
Yeah. It's not going into it totally blind and total, we would call in Australia like green with like inexperience. Like, you also need to have an understanding of the things that you might need to deal with to be dealing with them too. Yeah. You're not about to go as a mountaineer to summit a mountain and never have summited something even lower beforehand. So
yeah.
Gosh, Xiao, you're in Belgium at the moment. You had to go back there to renew a passport. So it's almost like you've hit the pause button on the big journey, but the big journey is going to still continue. You must be very excited. As someone who doesn't plan what's ahead, I do want to have to ask you, what are you excited about?
So I'm excited about life, No, I'm joking. I don't really have plans, but what I know is that I will spend a lot of time, maybe a few months in the Arabic Peninsula.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to connect with the people here. And one of the ways to do it is speaking the language. So right now I'm trying to learn Arabic.
Oh my gosh, wow.
It's a bit difficult, but I think it will be okay.
I'm just actually thinking at the moment, Xiao.
Yeah.
You can speak Mandarin, English, French.
And Dutch.
And Dutch. Oh my gosh. You're looking for Arabic, that'll be 5 languages.
Yeah.
That's... Wow.
Well, we will see.
Was that a polyglot?
Maybe it's super difficult, but it's a challenge that I do to myself. And also, when I started to speak Arabic, I was like, I will go to Turkey and then maybe the Balkans and Europe and it's finished, But I was like, why not go to North Africa? They all speak Arabic, so maybe I can practice more.
Yeah, Morocco. You'll have the desert there, but you'll also have the high Atlas and the anti-Atlas mountains. Like, how could someone like Xiao not go there?
No, I think I will stay more in the Mediterranean Sea. I don't know. I will see.
Yeah, no plan is your plan and can be the best plan. I love that. Oh my gosh. Well, listeners, if you want to stay in touch with Xiao's adventures, I am putting links in the show notes to Xiao's YouTube channel and also his Instagram as well, where you can follow along. I have thoroughly enjoyed watching your content, Xiao, and I'm so glad that we've had this opportunity to discuss so much more about your adventures.
Me too.
Like I said at the start of the show, I could spend a whole podcast just on a region in China, yet alone trying to cover everything. We didn't even go to Iran, but maybe that is next time because Xiao, every now and then I get a guest where I think, in a year or two, I'd like to have you on again and see where you're at. So maybe we'll do that. I finished the show up asking the same 3 questions. The first one is music related. So, Xiao, if you could pick a song to be the soundtrack to your adventure, what song would you choose? And then that song goes on the Seek Travel Ride music playlist, a song from every single guest of the show. What's your song going to be?
I would say, you know Charles Aznavour?
Oh, I think so. But what song? Okay, hang on.
It's the title is in French. It's Emmenez-moi.
Oh, okay. No, I'm going to get you to send that to me so I make sure I get the right song.
Do you remember in China when after the 5,000 meter, I was descending
You
the
were
mountain?
singing a song.
Yeah, it was that song.
Yes. Ah, very good. Oh, love it. Okay. No,
Yeah.
you are down. Okay.
Translation of Emmenez-moi is just bring me. And it's a guy who wants to leave his condition, and he will just leave you. You will hear the song.
Very good. Well, you were there. Okay, next question. You're given a choice one day, Xiao. You can turn left, and forever on this day, you'll be on the most corrugated washboard road of your life. There are no smooth bits. There's nowhere that you can weave a track. Your bike and you will be shaken and stirred washboard surface forever.
Okay.
Or if you turn right, you will be straight into the big block headwinds that you seem to face every single day when you're in China. Really strong headwinds that could push you backwards. Which one are you going to go? Are you going to go left on the corrugations or right?
Left.
Yeah, you're choosing the. What's your reasoning? Is it just the headwinds broke you, or you prefer the rougher roads?
Well, I prefer rougher roads, but also with suspension, you don't feel that. And also, I'm riding with 2.4 inches.
Tires.
Yeah, tires. So I don't feel that, you know.
Very good. All right, Team Corrugations, you are there. And final question for you, Xiao. I want you to finish this sentence for me. And the sentence is, the best thing about taking a bike adventure is?
The best thing in taking bike adventure is, for me, is, I broke the momentum, but I would say freedom. Like, bike adventure is where you see your own limitations, you deal with them, you deal with the solution. You are so, like, you feel the winds, you feel the sand, you feel the sun, you feel the cold, you feel the rain, you feel everything. And I think that's something that's the society, fine, when you live in a society in a big city, something that you want to avoid, but actually it's so beautiful. The rain is so beautiful, the sand is so beautiful, the sun, the sun in your skin is so beautiful. It's sensations that you forgot, maybe.
Yeah, it's like a full sensory experience.
Yeah.
And a reminder of that you are experiencing, I guess, that you are feeling, that you are seeing, that you're hearing, you're smelling. It's taking you to new places. Oh, I love it. I love it. And when I think about your journeys, Xiao, it's everything that you are seeking out in a nutshell. Especially when you put all of that into a package, it's taking you to the hardest places. And the views that were hard to get to are the most beautiful images for our eyes to see. It has been an absolute trip to learn about your journey, Xiao. And
Yeah.
it's been so great to understand your mindset towards your travel, to understand how you enjoy it when the problems come around because you know that they're going to be the experiences that you'll think about in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years' time that you'll be telling to others. I have loved hearing your honest reflections and insights from the places that you have travelled to now, and I can't wait to see where you go. Thank you so, so much for sharing your stories and experiences here on the podcast for Seek Travel Ride.
Thank you for inviting me, and also I would like to say that your work is also amazing because you are uniting all the bike travelers, and you make some, like, podcast is amazing. I really like podcasts. I hear that I hear that all the time on my bike. Yeah, what you're doing is also amazing. Like, I saw the old guy,
Heinz.
and I was like, wow, this is work that has sense, you know.
Yeah, you need to visit Heinz. You should go, that Heinz Strucker, you need to visit him when you eventually make your way back through Germany. Well, you don't need to, but you can. He loves having visitors. I feel you two could swap stories.
Okay.
I'm glad to hear that the pod has been keeping you company, and yours is a bike travel story that other people will tune into. And I think, Xiao, well, I know, will be inspiring others to take on their adventures too. And that's the best way that the podcast goes.
Yeah.
One adventurer inspires another one. And thanks for being part of it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for an invitation.
Listeners, I had such an awesome time chatting with Xiao there. I couldn't help but smile through a lot of what he was talking about. And then we also got into some serious talk too. And I really enjoyed his refreshing perspectives on the way he travels, what he observes, and also his thoughts on traveling in Afghanistan. It is a country that is coming up more and more with some guests that I have interviewed. It feels like more so in the last 6 months as well. And so with each guest, a different perspective and a different layer to that country comes into my mind, and I really appreciated Xiao's insights there. I also really loved how he spoke about that moment where he was doing the thing he dreamt about 10 years ago, and also in the lens that Xiao doesn't like to plan out too much. That came across really strongly. You know, he doesn't plan his routes out. No plan is the best plan. And yet he also had this amazing moment of the dream, reaching a place he had dreamt of, seeing it for himself, being there, having that emotional experience. I think in his words, he said he experienced it at 200%. And I loved that. And I also love the fact that he talks about bike travel being a full sensory experience. And it's okay to experience some things. It's fine to be experiencing the rain and the cold and the wind and the sand in your face. Maybe not at the time. And maybe that's Xiao's lens on travel, because he is definitely a type 2 fun traveler. And I think lastly, but not leastly, he is definitely someone who enjoys the travel aspect. He's definitely not what he would deem a tourist. Thank you so much, Xiao. Listeners, I hope that you enjoy listening to the podcast, that you tune into stories like Xiao's to take inspiration for your own bike travel adventures as well. And if you love hearing these episodes each and every week and you want to support the show, you can do so by heading to buymeacoffee.com/Seek Travel Ride. Buy me some virtual coffees and let me know what is it that you love about this podcast and where will your next bike adventure take you. Until the next episode, I'm Bella Malloy. Thanks for listening. Listeners, that's the end of the episode. But before you go, don't forget to check out Old Man Mountain, who are supporting this podcast. Check out their 12-litre Atlas rack pack, which is a pretty cool addition if you want more space without sacrificing any stability. Head to oldmanmountain.com and support the brands that support this podcast.